All right. So with that in mind, I want to tell you guys about the social media paradox, right? Our internet connection and phones hold the power to make us world-class connections, make us more money faster than any traditional 9-to-5. And most 9-to-5s, when you're like a lawyer or businessman or whatever, you have to spend years in a corporate office to begin making 6 figures or even 10 grand a month, right? You have to spend years. It's no longer the case. With the right actions and the right routines, you guys can be making that money right now. We understand these tools better than adults. We're better at using this shit. We have a strong advantage over them. And yet 99% of us are actually having our lives sucked away from these machines, making us anxious, depressed, and suicidal, right? How the fuck is this the case? I mean, it's really polar opposite to the spectrum. On the one end, we know it's making us depressed, triple the suicide rates, and it's fucking our lives up. At the same time, we know how much we can be doing from it with those opportunities. So, in my opinion, after really testing this on other people, on my students, on myself, I think the first steps to becoming hyper-productive is to gain control over these tools. To actually not quit social media or quit using your phone, but learn how to use them to your advantage. So we can use them for our benefit as opposed to Mark Zuckerberg's. And we'll begin doing that by creating solid morning and evening routines that allow us to own every single day, even if you hate waking up early. Does that sound good to you guys? That's something that you're interested in wanting to know?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? All right, lit. So before I get into creating those morning and evening routines with you guys, I want to tell y'all a little story. I tell you guys a little story? Is that okay? I tell you a story? Y'all ready for story time? I want to tell you about 2 different people. The first one is Michael Freshman Grossman. That's the first person I'm going to tell you about. The second person I'm going to tell you about is Michael Badass Trillstein. These are 2 different people. They're very different. They're not the same. You know, they might look alike a little bit, but they have 2 different stories, right? The first story is about Michael Freshman Grossman, right? He was a good kid with good grades in school, you know what I mean? Doing his thing, freshman. He followed the rules. He didn't do drugs. I mean, good kid, followed the rules, didn't do drugs. On the surface, homie, looks like he's doing all right for himself. You know what I mean? There he is with a horse. There he is winning some awards in school. There he is with some house. And there's him giving a presentation. And, of course, he has to include Michael Jordan because he always does. Those are good chicks. I don't know why I said that. Don't sue me, whoever's watching this. Okay. He met a girl. Man. He met a girl. Let's call her Bad Bitch, you know, or BB. We'll call her BB. So he meets BB. BB has long blonde hair, blue eyes, and an ass that would swallow up a G-string, right? Gorgeous. She's a beautiful woman, right? And MFG, he fell in love instantly with BB, right? He is in love, man. He was just like, God damn, this girl is beautiful. I can't even think of anything else how pretty she is, right? So he decides the second night after they meet, well, this is kind of where the story gets a little tricky. The second night after MFG meets her, her ex-boyfriend gets arrested on campus. Not making this up. I was there. I saw it all happen. He threw a rock through the door of her building and yelled, "You fucking bitch, you cunt," like going crazy, like insane, right? Now, some of you may have seen this and thought, well, man, that should be a cause for concern, but not MFG, man. He was like, listen, man, she clearly needs a better guy. Wow, man, I can be that guy for her. That she's dealing with these crazy dudes. Now that she has me, perfect, right? Amazing. Just further cements his allegiance to BB. You know what I mean? Because MFG is a good guy. MFG decides to confide in his roommate, right? MFG's roommate was the best looking guy on campus and MFG's closest friend. You know, I'm not going to say his name because whatever, but they were really close. And he's telling him, oh, man, I love this girl. She's so beautiful. And, you know, oh, she's going through all this stuff, but now she has me. Like, you know, man, amazing. He said, oh, man, I love this girl. I love BB, man. I love this bad bitch. She's beautiful, right? And the other thing about BB Well, she was also a nymphomaniac, which means she's addicted to sex. You know what I mean? So that was dope. That was awesome. That was definitely a benefit in the relationship. It was very cool that was the case. However, some trouble started coming up. BB had marks on her wrist and clearly was unstable. Several times, MFG had to force BB to throw up the pills that she was taking because she was overdosing on pills. But all this extra care for BB just led MFG's, his grades to drop, his workout routine suffered, and his diet just wasn't being followed, right? But he was okay with the sacrifice. He was okay. He was always taught to be unselfish. That's what society teaches him, Clearly, this girl needed his help. Helping her was more important than his grades or, any of that stuff, his workout routines. And MFG's roommate told MFG he should be careful, but he didn't listen. He's like, hey, listen, you're a good-looking guy. You don't know what it's like to be in love. You're a player. So that's what ended up happening. The very next night, after confiding in his roommate over this, MFG and BB are in his bed, his roommate's across. Everybody is very drunk at the time when BB whispers to MFG, last night, like with tears in her eyes, I slept with your roommate. I'm so sorry. Roommate is right across from him. She whispers it, right? He's still laughing, drinking. Oh, you guys are so cute together. The girl whispers, yeah, last night I fucked your roommate. And at the time, MFG's eyes began to water, staring at the drunken friend across the room in disbelief. He felt a really strong, sting in his heart, sense of betrayal. Because, when revelations like that happen, all the little things that you were noticing and ignoring kind of come to the surface. He just thought, wait, what? No, that can't be. I've been telling him all about it. He knows how much I like her. I've been sacrificing my grades for this girl. I've been sacrificing my weight, all that. So he stormed out of the room in rage. He cried for about 10 minutes, came back screaming at his roommate for his betrayal, but he couldn't bring himself to do the sensible thing with BB and just leave, and ended up, 2 hours later finding himself in the same bed with her after a few sad texts. That's all it took. All it took was, I'm sorry, no, I like you, you know what I mean? So our poor friend MFG ended up going back into her bedroom and Hulk smashing. Here's how it ended. It was a terrible semester having to live in the same room with that guy with all the rage and resentment and the hatred, you know what I mean? And BB broke up with MFG and ended up trying to fuck another one of his friends. Another one. Literally. MFG resorted to angry Reddit forums, YouTube videos, and Netflix for comfort from the cruel world around him. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, dude, this shit sucks. I got backstabbed by my roommate. This girl, fucking whatever, at the very least, I should just watch Netflix and social media, and I deserve a break, right? So before I move on to the other story, I just want to ask, can anyone relate? Has anybody ever been through what MFG went through? I want you to put it in the chat if you have. If you guys have had any bad things where some girl or some outer thing kind of fucked up your routine, messed shit up for you, right? And you sacrificed all this just to have it blow up in your face. Has that ever happened to you? Is anyone going through something like this right now? Is anyone going through something similar to this right now? It doesn't have to be the exact situation, but where you're kind of being held back by a girl or something else in your life. Let me know. I just want to take a look, see if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Let's see what's going on here. Yes, holy shit, yeah, yes, me now, hell the fuck no, thank God, kinda. I dated the Swedish version of BB a few years ago. Shawty was in my dream last night. All right, yeah, guys, I've been there. MFG has been there. So yeah, no, totally. And that's going to be an important part of this story, guys, in terms of making sure our routines are on point. Because life is going to hit you with some BBs sometimes, right? It's going to. In fact, you're going to hear about something similar with MBT. Now, MBT is a good kid with a good job. This is Michael Badass Trosteen, by the way. He follows the rules. You know what I mean? He doesn't do drugs. You know, he's the same person, pretty much, right? I would say he has a little more swag in these photos. God damn. He looks a little better in these photos. I don't know why exactly. A really handsome person took that picture on the bottom left. A really handsome guy. I'm not going to say who it is. Anyway, hey guys, similar story. MBT meets a girl. Like MFG, MBT met a girl he really, really liked. She was Portuguese with a British accent. Let's call her Bad Bitch 2 or BB2, right? Let's call her that, BB2. They hooked up the day before she had to go back to London, and MBT fell in love instantly. Oh my God, guys, it's like the same story. The same thing is happening over again, right? Oh boy, I'm concerned. What's gonna happen to MBT, man? It's the same story. They spoke on the phone 2 to 3 times a week for hours at a time. MBT knew he had 1 week vacation up with a work event in London right beforehand. So he was like, all right, I'll spend that week with this girl I really like. So I have a week off, you know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure that I do my event in London, and then I'm gonna stay with her to further cement the romance. And obviously, by further cement the romance, you know, I mean this. You know what I mean? This is how I figured we would further cement the romance. You know what I mean? Just make it official. So that's what MBT was planning to do in London. I'm gonna keep talking because I kind of like letting this play for a minute. Just let you guys soak this in. What did I sign up for? I spent $2K for this. Anyway, MBT was excited. He was excited. He booked the hotel, flights, even had a bouquet of flowers delivered to the girl beforehand. Wow, what a good guy. 3 days before MBT's flight, BB2 said she needed to talk to him. While she made a lot of excuses, in short, she said she no longer wanted to see him. He booked the flight, booked the hotels, all that stuff. Guys, I think I'm seeing a pattern here. MBT's reaction, oh boy, what's going to happen now? Is he going to cry to his roommate? Is he going to start watching Netflix? Is he going to start watching YouTube? Like, how is he going to respond to this? Well, his initial reaction was just as strong as his first one, a mix of sadness and anger. Mix of that. But this time around, MBT let himself feel those feelings, breathed, and then he said to himself, how do I make this the best thing that happened, rather than how do I get through this? MBT realized Spain was very close to London, where his dance teacher Sebastian was, and asked him if he could use that vacation time to practice. Just hit up Sebastian and say, hey man, I know we only met once, man, but you know, I'm gonna be there, and I'm trying to make this situation the best it can be. So MBT ended up becoming brothers with Seb in those 3 days and made incredible progress with his dancing. They got so close that Seb came to New York a month later for his birthday. And MBT went back to Spain for Seb's festival, and he proceeded to dance with some of the baddest Spanish women on earth, among other activities. I'm not going to get into them now. But yeah, there I am with Seb, who's on this call. So thank you so much, my brother, for helping me make that happen, making the best out of the situation. And there I am dancing, you know what I mean? There I am in Spain just doing my thing. Hey. That's actually Sebastian's ex-girlfriend. Anyway, moral of the story. Guys, I want to ask you a question. MFG and MBT, they were both good kids. They were both responsible with work and school, and they followed the rules. They didn't do drugs. They were both hopeless romantics who invested far too much in girls they hardly knew. So how come one ended up filled with hatred and misery, while the other ended up grateful to the girl who stood him up? Put it in the chat. What was the difference? Because on the surface, this sounds like the same fucking story to me. They both fall for a girl. They both spend all this time. How come one ended up binge watching Netflix and YouTube, got fat and resentful with anger and pain in his heart, right? You know, with the same level of betrayal pretty much. And the other one, like, ended up becoming a great dancer, became brothers with another person. Like, what was the fucking difference? I don't get it. Let me know in the chat, guys. I want to know what you guys think. Let's see what you guys are saying. What was the difference? MBT was an owner. Change perception, mindset. Okay. What else? I want to hear from I want to hear from Zeke. I want to hear from, I get everybody's response. I want to hear what you guys are saying. Ashraya, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think the difference was? Oh, I got mindset. Okay, from Ashraya. Lit. Okay. Yeah, these are good answers. All right. I'm going to tell you all the difference. Oh, I want to see who said what they said. What was the difference? MBT was proactive. These are all good answers. Here's the answer. Here's the main answer. The difference is the choice in how each chose to respond to what happened to them. That's the fucking difference. It's the goddamn choice he made in how to respond to the situation, right? That's the fucking difference. MFG chose pity, sympathy, and victimhood and asked, why did this happen to me? And how can I get through this? That's what he asked. That's what most people ask. But MBT chose growth, purpose, and ownership. He asked, what am I going to use this for? What am I going to get from this? Because in life, we can't fucking control what our roommates do. We can't control if a girl cancels on us on the last minute. The only fucking thing that we can choose is how we respond to this shit. That's the only thing we can choose. That's the only thing you can do. You cannot control the generation you were born in. You can't control that Instagram exists, that social media exists. You can't control if your uncle is a fucking asshole that ruins like your family. You can't control any of that. The only thing you can control is how you respond to the situation. There's nothing else. So it's time for you to make that same choice right now. Whether it's a girl you can't stop thinking of, a family member holding you back, or the shiny notifications from Instagram, every day of your life, you are making a choice on how to respond to everything around you. Every fucking day you're choosing. So if you're interested in becoming hyper-productive, it might be time for you to begin making some different choices. It might be time for you to be making some different choices than you're currently making. So I want to know your decision, man. Is it going to be sympathy, pity, and victimhood? Asking, why is this happening to me? How am I going to get through this? Is that what it's going to be? Because as I understand it, that's how it's been for most people on this call for most of their lives. It might even be the way they've been choosing up until now. Or will it be growth, purpose, and ownership? Asking, how will I use this? What am I going to get from this, regardless of the situation? If you get sick, man, what am I going to get from this? You know what, maybe I'll organize the crib and do things I normally wouldn't do. Or if a girl stands you up, all right, how am I going to use this? What am I going to get from this? You know what, maybe this is a good time to practice love and appreciation and go see a friend I haven't seen in a while and then make the best out of the situation, right? That's how you would do it. So let me know, guys. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? We're going to go victimhood or owner? Let me know. Put it in the chat. I want to know what decision you guys are making now. Doesn't matter what you decided in the past. Just matters what you're deciding now. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Let's see what we're talking about. Instead of reactive, Splashman, owner, Zeke, owner, Jeff, growth, purpose, ownership, Ashraya, owner. I love it. Yeah, guys. That's what we're doing. That's why we're here. That's the difference. Know what I mean? Listen, some of you didn't have faith that I was going to have a good point to make after the puppet sex showed up. I know some of you were like, what's happening here? But no, whoa, shit, he actually made a good point. That was well done. Well done. Listen, that puppet sex was completely appropriate. There was no way I could have made the same point without it. All right, guys.
It was great puppet sex.
Thank you. It was great puppet sex. All right. So this is the decision we're making. Awesome. So yeah, let's get it, guys. Let's fucking go. Let's get it. I'm a New York football fan, but something that I'm going to talk about later in this course is I love studying the people that are the best in the world at what they do. Tom Brady's clearly the best in the world when it comes to being a quarterback. So now I just kind of admire that. So let's get it going. So some of you may be familiar with this, but I believe in life there's 4 potentials for you. There's 4 places you can go. 4 potentials. I believe human beings have 4 main potentials they can be operating at. The potential equation, it looks like this. It's natural talent plus effort equals your potential. That's what it is. Natural talent, plus effort is going to equal your potential, right? One of those things we're born with, the other thing we can do, right? That's your life's potential. What you're born with, there's definitely some genetics, and then there's the effort. Here's the 4 potentials continued. I like to view them in the form of 4 basketball players. That's how I like to view it, as the 4 potentials. We got Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Vince Carter, J.R. Smith. Those are your 4 potentials in life. You can be your Michael Jordan of your life, Shaquille O'Neal of your life, Vince Carter of your life, J.R. Smith of your life. If you're operating at the MJ level, you are operating between 90 and 100% of what you're capable of, which is fucking amazing. Less than 1% of humans. Your Elon Musk, Elon Musk is operating probably at that 99 to 100. You know what I mean? We're talking Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, like those motherfuckers. Like that's the 90 to 100 range. If you're operating at 75 to 85, you're probably Shaq. Right? Now we're going down a tier, right? Still really good, still really cool, still a cool life, but you're going to be the one that knows that you're not operating all the way. If you're in that Vince range, you're between 60 and 70. I think most people that are on this call are not going to go below Vince. Like Vince is going to be the lowest we're going to go, right? That's kind of where it's like you're coasting a little bit. You're working, but you are coasting a little bit. You know what I mean? And then lastly, we got JR. That's 50% and below. That's where you just fucking up, man. You just having a shitty week. You know what I mean? You drinking, you partying, and you're like getting mad at yourself. But let's explain them, right? So we got MJ, we got Shaq, got Vince, we got J.R. Smith. As you can tell from the J.R. Smith picture, that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be at this. That's not where you want to be. So, Michael Jordan, for those of you that are unfamiliar with basketball, used every inch of his potential, using what he naturally had, talent, and then maxing out 100% effort every single day. He wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest, wasn't the most gifted player. He's not even those things among the 4 that I just listed, right? But he put in more effort than everybody else. He owned every single mistake in his life, and he responded, what will I get from this every single time? That's a major fucking key, guys. I want you to write that shit down. Anytime any bullshit happens to you, man, what will I get from this? Get used to saying that shit. What will I get from this? It's going to make a massive difference. That one fucking thing will make all this worth it. What will I get from this situation? Every time. Michael Jordan loses in the playoffs. What will I get from this? Michael Jordan's father dies in a car crash. What will I get from this? Like all that bullshit. If you just say, what will I get from this? Your life is going to be significantly better, right? And if you do that every single day, you max out 100% effort every single day, then your talent plus 100% effort equals the greatest of all time, right? Him with his 6 championship rings, right? That's what you get. Now we got Shaq. Shaq was born in a 7'2", 300-pound frame and was the most dominant player of all time just by pure strength. He was no slacker. He was not a slacker. Definitely put in effort most of the time, which led to 4 championship rings. That's pretty good. But he also enjoyed putting his huge black dick into white women, right? That was kind of like his favorite part, which led him to coast a lot of his career, right? So very good plus white chicks, you know what I mean? You're in your 75 to 85% effort range, right? That's when you're in your Shaq range where you're kind of like, you are fucking around a little bit, but you know what I mean? You're overall having a good life. Being in the Shaq range isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? Vinsanity. So Vince Carter had the highest vertical leap in history, was born with more talent than anybody else, in my opinion. Had the most talent ever. He was so good naturally that with little effort, he was better than most of the league. He was naturally a charismatic guy in school. It's like the guy in school that you saw that you knew had like all this potential if he only applied himself. That's when you're in the Vince Carter range, right? People say, man, imagine if he actually worked hard. Like, what would have happened? So tons of talent, but little effort. Now we're in the 60 to 70% potential, right? You're going to look kind of sad on the Toronto Raptors. You're going to make people like Splash Man sad, knowing that you could have won a championship for them, but you just didn't put in the effort. You know what I mean? So that's when you're in the Vince range. J.R. Pipe. So J.R. was so naturally talented that he was able to actually skip college, come into the NBA at 18 years old. The problem was J.R. put in almost no effort. He got hammered the night before games. And he famously would DM girls saying, want the pipe. While there's nothing wrong with laying down the pipe, you don't want that to be what you're known for. You don't want to be known for being the guy that DMs girls want the pipe. So talent plus no effort equals Henny and Instagram thoughts. Now that's one way to live. That's one way to live. You know, I've experienced this myself, being in the JR range. Yeah, that's a real Instagram conversation, by the way. You trying to get the pipe. That's one way to live. That's one way to live. Now, before I even move on, I want to know what's been most helpful so far, guys. Just by going over this, it can be the 4 potentials. It can be get from. I just want to know what's running through your heads right now as I just described the 4 phases of life. Go ahead, put it in the chat for me. There's 4 potentials. We can become MJ. We can become Shaq, Vince, or JR. I want to know, of what I just talked about just now, what has been most helpful. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. How we doing? Anytime any bullshit happens to you, ask yourself, what will I get from this every single day? I love it. Knowing that talent doesn't mean a damn thing if it's not applied. The potential equation. Awesome, awesome. Ashraya, what are you getting, bro? What are you getting? Slap it in there. And a less talented person can outwork you. That's 100% facts. It's 100% facts. Love that I'm talking to all these badasses on Saturday morning. Have an MJ day regardless of how bad the day is. Don't be a bitch. Love it. Okay, moving on. Here's the danger of average. If you're on this call, it's because you know inherently that you can operate at the MJ potential, and it pains you that you currently aren't, right? You know you can do better, and it fucking fucks with your head that you're not doing better. And what makes it worse is because most people are operating at JR, you doing Vince or coasting looks amazing to them. Wow, Jeff, you graduated college. That's amazing. Oh my God. What? And now you have a fulfillment? Whoa, you're working too hard. Slow down. Splash Man, you're in Nepal? What? That's silly. No, come home. You're working too hard. Siddiqui, you're always working. You're doing coaching calls on Saturdays. Slow down. I'm like, Sebastian, Ashraya, why are you working so hard? That's JR talking to you. That's JR trying to take you down to his level, even if you're just operating at Vince. That's the fucked up part. You know in your head you can be doing more. That's when that shit fucks up, right? So everyone is telling you how great you are when you know you can be doing 30 to 50% better. Can anybody relate to that shit? Anybody know? Is there anyone in your life right now that thinks you're fucking crushing it and you're like, man, you have no idea. You have no fucking idea. I'm offended that you think I'm doing super well right now. Let me know. I've been there, man. I've been there. Shit sucks. It's like you get in. I feel like it's like one of those movies where like a kid like wins an award by cheating, and then everybody talks about how great he is, and then he like feels guilty about it. That's pretty much how I imagine it. Oh shit, this one inspired some responses. 2018 Game 1, J.R. Smith. Yes, sir. For real. Yes, sir. Yes. I'm offended when people tell me that. Facts. Lit. Okay. That's the danger of average, guys. It's almost worse. It's almost worse, actually, to be operating at that Vince level. Because at least when you're at JR, you know you fucking up. But when you operating at Vince and you coasting, you're getting like positively reinforced for some shit that you know isn't your full potential. You get stuck in a rut. So of the 4 potentials, where are you right now? Are you MJ, Shaq, Vince, or JR? Put it in the chat. Let me know how you operating right now. Let me know how you operating right now. Where we at, guys? Where we at? Give me your last week. Have you been MJ, Shaq, Vince, or JR? How we doing, fellas? MJ, Shaq, Vince, or JR? Where we at? Okay, Splash Man's been doing Shaq. Jeff's been doing Vince. MJ September, Shaq right now. Shaq, Vince. Almost prime Vince. A mixture, frankly. That's all right, Ash. That's cool, man. That's cool. I would argue that Ash has been acting like has been shacking up with a couple of MJ days. I've been working with him for a while. But it's cool. We're all going to be our harshest critics. A mixture, frankly. Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right. Dope. All right, guys, we're going to get everybody up to MJ. Don't you worry. Okay. So here's the good news. As I was saying before, you don't need to wake up at 4 a.m., do a 7-hour workout, and then pray for 3 years like Mark Wahlberg or The Rock to win each morning. You don't need to do any of that shit. All you need is to own the first 60 minutes of your day. That's all you need, and then 10 minutes in the evening to win every day. The only caveat here is you got to do it every fucking day. You got to do it on Saturday. You got to do it on Sunday. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do to own every single day. If you follow these steps, you'll be winning championship rings in no time. You just follow these steps. Every single day, you're going to win every single day. So I'm going to give you guys a spoiler alert. It begins the evening before. It's going to begin the evening before every single time. To succeed at having an MJ day, the night before you're making your to-do list, right? I recommend pen and paper. Here's my to-do list from today. It's right here. For you, take out a pen and paper. And I recommend having a personal side of your list and a professional side of your list. So on one side, it's your personal shit, right? It's like meditating, working out, whatever. On the right side is your work shit, you know, like following up with leads or whatever the case may be. So have two sides. I suggest doing this 2 hours before bed. So if your bedtime is 10 p.m., I want you to begin making this to-do list at 8 p.m., right? Give yourself plenty of time to wind down. You'll begin by moving whatever you didn't get done today for the next day, and then write whatever you want to get done tomorrow. So let's say, for example, I didn't put up an Instagram post today and I was supposed to. I'll move that Instagram post to the top of the list for tomorrow, finish out what I want to write out tomorrow, and then I will close the book and go to sleep peacefully, right? Now, the night before, once that's done, you're going to go ahead and download whatever educational audios, download podcasts that you want to listen to in the morning on your phone, and then put your phone in airplane mode. So whatever you want to listen to the next day, the next morning, totally cool to use your phone for it, but it needs to be downloaded ahead of time. You can't take it out of airplane mode the next morning and download it, because then you're fucking cheating and then you're going to look at texts and stuff. I don't want any of that. Once this is done, you have my permission to give yourself a full 60-minute guilt-free binge on whatever you want. So it's 8 p.m. the evening before. You made your to-do list for the next day. You crossed things out. You downloaded, an audiobook you're going to listen to in the morning. You put your phone in airplane mode. Bam. You have my permission now to take out your laptop and watch Netflix, YouTube, scroll on Instagram for thoughts, whatever you want to do. I don't care, as long as you follow the previous and following steps, right? Everybody's with me so far. Everybody understands what these steps are. Give me a thumbs up if you get it. Let me know if you have a question. Put it in the chat if you got a question, and then I'll make sure to slow down. But again, to-do list for the next day, two sides, personal and professional, right? We're going to add whatever we didn't get done that day to the following day. Then we are going to download whatever we want to listen to in the morning, put our phone in airplane mode. Bam, we now have permission to go crazy for 60 minutes. We can watch whatever we want, right? As I said, guys, I'm not like a social media Nazi, right? I'm not saying that you can't use it. I'm not saying that you can't even have fun. Have yourself an hour. I'm giving you 7 hours a week, right? Which sounds like a lot until you consider the stat I gave you earlier that most people watch this shit 9 hours a day. So 7 hours a week ain't bad. Now, the morning of. When you wake up in the morning, I suggest no less than 7 hours of sleep personally. You need to do 3 things in the first 60 minutes of your day to have a Michael Jordan morning. You need to work out for 10 minutes. You got to move your body. There's tons of studies, I'm not going to get into them right now, that when you move first thing in the morning for 10 minutes, it just activates serotonin and dopamine levels and will just make you have a more active, energetic day. So you're going to lift weights, you can run, you can dance, as long as you get the heart pumping for 10 minutes in the morning. You're going to meditate for 2 minutes. Now, I don't care if you're not good at it. I don't care if meditating doesn't work for you and any of that other bullshit you're going to say to me. Just breathe in and out for 120 seconds. You know, you don't have to be Zeke and meditate for 6 hours while you contemplate your existence. But you do need to meditate for 2 minutes. If you're skeptical, man, 120 seconds, put on a timer. Just breathe for 2 minutes, man. Just breathe for 2 minutes. So we're working out for 10. We're getting the body moving. We're meditating for 2, right? Bam, that's 12 minutes. Now, you're going to keep your phone in airplane mode this whole time for the first 60 minutes, right? I personally recommend that if you go to work or school, to keep it in airplane mode until you get to work or school. But all I want is 60. So after those 12 minutes, you're going to give me another 48 with your phone in airplane mode. Now, here's the thing. Like a crack addict, you're going to feel the urge to take it out of airplane mode. You're going to feel the urge to go into Instagram. You're going to feel the urge to text people. In order to counteract that, remember the educational audio we downloaded. Remember the audiobook. Remember the podcast. You can play that shit as long as it's educational. I don't want you to listen to like a sports podcast or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I do want you to listen to something educational because your brain is going to want to listen to something. But you can only listen to that shit in airplane mode. I'm going to just double check with these if there's a question in here. Maybe the chat is just slow. Oh, yeah. We'll get into that. We'll get that into that, Sebastian. He's revealing another secret that I'm going to get into in a minute. But, yeah, we're going to do that. Keep your phone in airplane mode. Bam. Now, when you do this successfully, the morning and evening routine, you're going to notice some things. The first thing you're going to notice is your mind's going to become sharper, coming up with better answers to problems faster than before. And there's a lot of scientific reasons why, but it's basically because you're not contaminating your brain with nonsense when you first wake up in the morning. I remember when I first came up with this routine, I was seeing a lady, and she woke up next to me because, you know, fuck you, that happened. And she immediately pulled out her phone and began scrolling on Instagram, and I just thought to myself, Jesus, she is literally rotting her brain right now, like rotting her brain. So that's why she's not that smart. But you are. Your mind, by doing this, your mind is going to be sharper, coming up with better answers to problems faster than before. You're going to have more energy and will be vibrant at a stronger and more focused frequency, right? Sometimes I get people asking me, like, how do I have this energy, like, first thing in the morning? It's because I do this. It's because I'm not contaminating my brain with nonsense. You know what I mean? That's the reason. So you're going to have more energy. You're going to be vibrant. You will not feel guilty for binging online at night, knowing that you earned those 60 minutes from your work during the day. Again, you can do whatever you want in those 60 minutes. You can do whatever the hell you want as long as you stay offline during the day, right? I noticed I said you can take your phone out of airplane mode. I didn't say you could bullshit online. That's saved for the last 60 minutes of the day. So when you feel urges to do it earlier, all you're saying to your brain is not now. You're not saying no, you're saying not now. It's not our scheduled time yet. So here are some bonus ninja hacks to help you further cement this. But as you know, before I get into the ninja shit, let me know in the chat of what we just talked about, what do you think is going to be the most helpful for you? What do you think is going to be the most useful of what I just discussed? What do you think is going to be most helpful for you? This is the shit they don't teach you in school, ladies and gentlemen. They don't teach this to you at work. You got to learn this shit yourself, or at least I had to. This is gold, guys. Like I spent a lot of time putting this into action and like trying different shit. Nothing works better than this. And listen, once you get these 60 minutes down, we can get into more advanced ways of making your day productive. But if you can do this, man, you're better than 99% of people. It's like the way Sebastian teaches. If you can learn the two-step and you can like bop your body, you're better than 99% of the dance floor. Same way with your morning routines. So let's see what people are saying. The airplane mode in the morning, Zeke. Splashman, checking IG. Jeff, meditation. Splashman, that shit is my current weakness. Splash, what's your current weakness? Ashraya, constantly saying not now as opposed to no. So you're not putting garbage in your brain. Splash, what's your current weakness? I want to know. We're going to fix it. Weakness, IG in the morning. Yeah, bro, you got to stop that shit. You got to stop that shit. Especially you guys, because we make money online. So we're allowed to go on social media early. No, we're not. We are even more vulnerable to this nonsense. You know what I mean? We're even more vulnerable to that shit. Nah, man, schedule that time. You know what I mean? People can wait. If they want to hear from Lord Splashman, I'm never going to let you forget that you made that your Instagram name for a while. If they want to talk to the Lord, they can wait a few hours. If they want to talk to the Lord of Splash, they might have to wait. Again, unique situations, case-by-case basis. I want you to spend these 8 weeks with me trying my way. You know what I mean? These 8 weeks with me, just follow my way. And then after that, you can decide if you want to fuck with it. You got to know the rules before you fuck with the rules, as they say in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You got to learn how to do the underhooks. You got to learn how to do the sleeper hold before you start messing with the system. So I encourage you, do my system first. And then if you want to tweak it, you can tweak it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so let's see what else is going on in here. Lord Splash, man, his jokes. It goes hard, though. It had a good run. Lord Splash, man. I would go to that church. Okay, here are the bonus ninja hacks. Bonus ninja hack time. Time to go ninja. We got Splashman and Ash Rye on here, so we can ask them if we need help being ninjas. Okay, so Jesus, I gotta stop. Okay, this course cannot go public. It'll be the end of my career. Turn off all notifications on your phone, including text messages. Do that now. I want you guys to go into your settings in your phone, and you'll notice that if you go to the notifications, all my shit is off. All of my shit is off, man. I have a ton of apps. My text messages don't notify me. Because, you know why? I'm not going to be subjugated to some fucking piece of machine when my attention is going to be distracted. I'm not going to let that happen. I look at my messages when I want to look at my messages. Own your machinery. Go into your phone right now. I want to see it. Look into your fucking phone. Turn off all notifications. For everything. Instagram. Fucking texting. WhatsApp. Even WhatsApp, guys. Even the shit that you're in with me. I can wait. I can wait a few hours. We're all busy. We all got things going on. Now, listen, there might be times of the day where it's like texting time or WhatsApp messaging time. But I just want it scheduled. I don't want it to be this scatterbrain thing where you're like, I don't want that. Go into your phone, turn off everything. By the way, what you'll notice, guys, on the back of my phone, I got Michael Jordan to remind me of greatness. On the back of my other phone, I have Kobe Bryant to remind me of greatness. On the back of my laptop is a picture of Jordan and Kobe. That's another ninja hack. whoever you aspire to be, whoever inspires you, have them like surrounded in your room to give you. Yeah, who's that? I can't even see. Splash, is that the Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah, buddy. All right. If you've turned off your notifications, or at least the ones that are the most distracting to you, write TON in the chat for turn off notifications. Put TON in the chat if you already did it. Put that shit in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. TON, it's kind of scary. Sebastian, TON. That's okay, Splash Man. Leave the PayPal and Stripe notifications on. Jeff, TON, brain tricking me. Don't worry, Z. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. You all good. You all good, bro. You all good. Don't worry. And that's the cool thing, because I know part of the reason that Zeke's a little afraid right now of doing that is Zeke, you know, he does do Instagram for a living, and he also has clients that he talks to through WhatsApp. Doesn't mean that you can't respond to them just as quickly as you normally do or as often as you normally do. But what it does mean is you can look at it on your own schedule. You know what I mean? You look at it like your schedule. You know what I mean? You're not going to be subjugated to the phone's decision of when you look at your phone or not. You know, it's you're going to be that rare person that when you're present with someone, you're actually present with them. We're going to get more into that next week on the chronic case of people looking at their phones and how we can counteract that. We're going to get into more social media addiction next week. This week, I want to solidify our morning and evening routines. So we've turned off our notifications. Awesome, guys. UIA. I want you to uninstall all social media apps. Now, hang on. You don't have to do it this second. Don't have to do it this second. What I'm basically saying is, if you're going to operate with the guilt-free binge at the end of the day, which I know most of you are, so I think this rule more applies to Jeff, Ashraya. You know what? It does kind of apply to all of us. So yeah, fuck it. UIA. I want you guys to uninstall all your social media apps. You can reinstall them during the guilt-free binge, right? You can reinstall them when it's work time, but I want you to delete that shit before bed. I install and reinstall Instagram twice a day. We're turning off notifications. We're uninstalling the apps. This is the only way we can go to battle with this shit is we gotta like make it a hard path of resistance in order to get there. So I want you to go ahead. I want you to go ahead and uninstall the apps. And when you do that, put in the chat UIA. Not to be confused with STI, which if you got that, I would recommend wrapping up more often and, you know, maybe holding off on the BBs for a while. But UIA, put that in the chat. If you've uninstalled the social media apps, uninstall Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It's worse on your phone than it is on your desktop. I would rather you be on your desktop when you look at that shit, honestly. Let's see if we got some UIAs in the chat. Lit. Ash, Splash, Seb, lit. Uninstall that bullshit, y'all. Uninstall that shit. Okay. Bam. Perfect. Okay. Lastly, Sebastian already talked about this. This seems to be everybody's favorite. The people that I've coached. AOB. Airplane off DAG. Here's how this works. And I'm gonna ask Seb and Splash to talk on this, on how it's helped them. But before that, here's how it works. Whether you're going to work or you're taking a walk out, you're moving, right? Let's say you are taking the subway or you're walking somewhere. I want you to take your phone, but I want you to take your phone in a specific manner. I want you to start by putting your phone in airplane mode. I want you to turn it off and put it in your book bag, right? So airplane mode, turn it off, put it in your book bag, and then walk or drive to your destination or whatever the case may be. Now, why does this work? Well, it works because you're giving yourself 3 layers to fail. If you just went outside, put your phone in your pocket and said, I'm not going to check it. I'm not going to check it. You are going to, it's like, again, being a crack addict with cocaine in your pocket. Like, at some point, you're going to take it out and take a sniff. You know what I mean? And I don't want you to do that. But if it's in your book bag, in airplane mode, and it's off, here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk with your bag on. You know what I mean? You're going to have your bag on. But fuck. God damn it. I got to check Musically or whatever the kids are playing with nowadays. I got to check Instagram. Bam. Right. But my phone, it's not in my pocket. Oh, that's right. It's in my bag. Oh, that's right. I'm not supposed to check that shit. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep walking. You keep walking. Say, fuck it. I want the goddamn phone. I want to take off your bag. You put your hand in there. You're like digging for it, you know, between all the books. Like, Jesus Christ, am I this fucking pathetic? Maybe you are, right? You pick up the phone and it's off. And you're like, fuck. I'm not supposed to look at this thing, man. God damn it. Put it back in your bag. Or maybe you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I got to look at this thing. You turn it on. And even if you turn it on, it's in airplane mode. So you literally have to take a lot more. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? Do you understand how much harder it is? You've made it harder on yourself to get distracted. So that's another one of the ninja tricks, which is AOB. So if you're going to give AOB a shot today, just type AOB in the chat. Let me know. That seems to be everybody's favorite. Sebastian, are you there, homie? He might be. Right. Oh, lit, man. How has AOB helped you?
I mean, it's basically bulletproof, right? Especially if you are serious about your binging time. Like, I feel that's key for a lot of us, right? But if you are, if you turn on your phone and you are on AOB and you can't even commit to that shit, I mean, you're an asshole. then you got a problem.
Lit. Splash, how has it helped you? I know it's a big one of yours.
I use it especially during commutes. And I realized that like I was really fucked up at the first time when I started using it because I was like trying to rationalize it in any way to use my phone. Like, oh, I gotta let my phone know. I gotta let my friend know I'm coming in like 40 minutes. Oh, I gotta let him know, I'm gonna be there, but like all that shit. But yeah, like it really helps having those like layers, as you said, because each layer is like a little like slap in the face type like / reminder. It's like, yo, like what the fuck you doing? And when you're not on your phone, like I try to not be on my phone when I'm on commutes, and then definitely my mind is more clear, like really thinking about shit that matters or like getting new ideas. And I think I even hit you up once, told you I got like some sick ideas when I was just like not on my phone, just walking without my phone. So this shit's really helped me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing. That my favorite part, what I'm most excited for you guys to learn is when you reduce the social media use for the nonsense time, the best part is what Splashman's going to say. You're going to have better ideas. You're going to have more focus. You're going to notice things, and you're going to be a more present human, which is something that Zeke is a specialist in. Is kind of like this meditation and breathing expert. It forces you to become present with your body, which is awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and get back into this. Okay, so those are the ninja hacks. So your homework, guys. We're getting into the homework, and then we're going to do some Q&A. But you know what? Before we get into the homework, before we wrap this in a bow, let me know in the chat, guys, what's been most helpful from week 1? Got 8 weeks together. This is the beginning, but this is the foundation. There's a reason I'm starting with morning and evening routine. This is your life, and most people do not take it seriously. Most people are operating in that J.R. Smith mode or that Vince Carter mode. They are not Shaq. They are not MJ. I want you guys to be MJ. You guys are pretty much MJ right now. I mean, who the fuck starts a Saturday morning learning like how to use their social media correctly? Nobody. You guys are very rare. So how can we be MJ every day? I want you to get to that MJ potential. And I also, the other thing is I want you guys to be able to respond to situations better. So another reason why MFG responded poorly to the situation with BB the first BB, was because he wasn't very present, right? He wasn't in a mode where his morning and evening routines were his, right? That was another key decision, another key mistake that he made, was that he was putting the BB before himself, right? He wasn't prioritizing his morning and evening routines. He was letting life happen to him. He was asking, oh man, how am I going to get through this? And all that stuff. Whereas MBT, going through a similar situation, because he has his morning and evening routines on points, it's harder to affect him. He is more present. He is less letting life happen to him, and he's happening to life because he's taking control of it. And I want you guys to be the same way. So let me see, guys. What's been most helpful so far? Okay. The morning and night structure, planning everything 2 hours before, AOB, turning off notifications. Ask yourself, what will I get from this? That's right, Splash. Every single time, man. I know you were going through a rough patch this year, man, or you had some things going on earlier. Man, as soon as you ask yourself this, man, what are you going to get from that? And just say it. Write it down. The danger of average people giving positive reinforcement where you are at a Vince Carter level. I know that's a big thing for you, Jeff. We're going to get you through that. Ashraya, make it a habit to use only 60 minutes and then plan the next day 2 hours before. That's correct. Amazing, guys. Okay, so we're going to get into the homework right now. Again, guys, this ain't going to be no motivational rah-rah nonsense. I'm going to make sure you're doing everything, right? So I want you to take out your phone again, and I want you to put in your Google Calendar the following things. I don't have Google Calendar. We'll download Google Calendar. I think most people on this phone on this call have Google Calendar. All right. The time that you're going to make your to-do list each day. So this is 2 hours before you go to sleep. Now, I know some things can happen in life. Sometimes things happen and things can change. But I want to know 2 hours before you go to sleep, usually, when are you going to make that to-do list? Go ahead, put it in your Google Calendar right now. Also, let me know in the chat what time that is, generally speaking. 8 p.m., 9 p.m. If you go to sleep at 11, your to-do list is at 9. Go to sleep at 10, to-do list is at 8. Let me know when. Let me know. Put it in your phones and let me know in the chat when that's going to be. All right, so I'm going to take a look real quick. So when we doing this, fellas? 8 p.m. here in Nepal. Awesome. That's when you're going to make the to-do list. I want to hear from everybody, and I want you to put it in your phones. I'm going to ask you to screenshot it for the WhatsApp group. So let's see what's going on. We got a 10 p.m. from Ashraya. We got a 9 p.m. from Sebastian. Okay. Sebastian's on military time. 8 p.m. for Jeff. Awesome. Did I get everybody? Now I'm waiting for Zeke. Zeke, when is going to be your time? I'm going to take a wild guess, Zeke. I'm going to say it's like 8:30 or 9. Can you make it earlier, say at 5 p.m. after you finish? Yes, you can. You can. 9 p.m., Zeke. Yeah, I just recommend 2 hours before. Dope. Okay. Awesome. If it's in your Google Calendar, write GC. If it's in your Google Calendar right now. Type GC. Lit. Perfect. Put that shit in there. Okay, bam. All right, next thing. The time that you're going to make your to-do list. Perfect. The time you'll enjoy your binge. What time is that going to be? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Let me know. What time is it going to be? If you're doing it my way, it's literally going to be an hour after you make the to-do list. If you're doing it my way. So let's see if you guys are good test takers. 11 p.m., 10 p.m., beautiful, after the to-do list. Love it. Perfect. So that's when you're enjoying your binge. At 11 p.m., Ash, go crazy. Watch what you want. Jeff, at 8:30, do what you please. You got a full hour. Have some fun. You've earned it, right? And it's going to actually make you less guilty about watching those YouTube videos. Know what I mean? 9 p.m. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So we know when our guilt-free binge is. We know when our to-do list is. What time you going to sleep, fellas? What time you going to bed? Put that shit in your calendar too. Again, we don't have to be perfect, but we should have some structure here. What time we going to sleep, y'all? Let me know. 10 to 11 p.m., 10 to 10:30 p.m., 10:30, perfect. 12, that's fine. 11, cool. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Lastly, the time you'll have your MJ morning hour. You should put this in your phone as MJ morning. It's 1 hour. When is that? Put that shit in your Google Calendar and let me know what time in the morning that is. Should be when you wake up. And if you're following it my way, you should also be getting at least 7 hours of sleep. Okay, so we got 5 a.m. for Splash, 9 to 10 a.m. Ashraya. What time are you fellas waking up? Zeke said 7. Awesome. Jeff, what time are you waking up, brother? Seb, 7. 9 to 10 tomorrow because I'm asleep and cuddled up with a chick. Monday to Saturday, 6:30 a.m. All right, all good, man. Yo, shout out to you. You know what I mean? Let's give a round of applause for Jeff for laying down the pipe. Okay, lit. Hey, listen, as long as we got the morning and evening routines, man, you can do whatever you want. But hey, man, you could be MBT as long as you don't let the chick stop you from getting your morning and evening routines in. You know what I mean? So, you can still have fun. Okay. Bam. All right, your homework this week. So we already put that shit in the calendar, which is dope. Here's your homework for this week. You're going to keep us posted on WhatsApp on how the MJ morning and evening are working for you, right? You're going to keep us posted there. What differences you're noticing in your mental, physical, and spiritual energy. So just keep us updated, man. Leave a voice message, leave a video. Just put it in the chat. You know what I mean? Let us know what the differences you're noticing. I want you to screenshot your Google Calendar for WhatsApp. So I know for a fact that you guys did what you just said. I trust you, but not that much. So screenshot your Google Calendar and post it on WhatsApp. Bam. And I want you to encourage others by sharing your progress, cheering them on, sharing your experience. So MJ, Shaq, or a Vince day. So every day, you're going to let me know how it's working for you in the group chat. And you're also going to share your experience. You can say, yo, I'm having an MJ day. I'm fucking crushing it. Oh, man, I'm having a Shaq day. It's still a positive day, but I'm also still doing my thing. You can let me know if you're doing Vince, where you're sort of coasting. Or if you're just fucking up all day, let us know. Because if you just tell us you're having a JR day, your day's automatically going to be elevated because you're going to have your team, your squad, encouraging you and cheering you on. So everybody got this homework. Everybody got this homework. You know what to do. You're screenshotting the calendar, putting that in WhatsApp. You're encouraging others. You're posting. You're letting us know what's going on. The worst thing you can do is fucking ghost. And not for me, for yourself. The worst thing you can do is ghost for yourself. So don't ghost. Let me know how it's going in the chat. Human beings are much more likely to do things when they're being watched by other humans, right? Just like sex. No, I'm kidding. It's not the same. But human beings, like when they know they're being monitored, are much more likely to proceed in that thing. So there you go. All right. Every time you catch yourself, here's the other homework. Every time you catch yourself getting up over any problem or obstacle, getting upset, you're getting mad, right? Sebastian, you're getting upset because you work with dancers who normally aren't super bright and they make a mistake on the click funnel. Ashraya, you're at the restaurant, a motherfucking customer's being an asshole. Splashman, some guy like in the email marketing says, why isn't this email making more money after it was sent for like 10 minutes? Um, Jeff, maybe your girl is tripping or whatever the case may be. Yeah, Zeke, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, your sister's tweaking on you. You know what I mean? Anytime you catch yourself getting upset over anything, I want you to breathe and ask yourself, what will I get from this? How am I going to use this? Like, oh, man, what am I going to get from my girl tweaking on me? Maybe I'm going to get some patience. I'm going to get to practice love. I'm going to get to practice empathy and sympathy. Thank you so much for that. How am I going to use this? You know what? In interactions in the future, when I know that she's going to tweak, I'll be more prepared and more grounded. How amazing that she showed me that. That's how we're going to flip that stuff, right? Oh, man, this customer's being an asshole to me. How am I going to use this? What am I going to get from it? Every time you catch yourself getting upset, it's okay to feel the feelings, but you need to ask yourself afterwards, what am I going to get from this? How am I going to use this? That's an important thing for this week. You no longer get through anything in your life. You're not getting through life. Most people get through shit. Oh, man, just trying to get through the day. How's it going with your girl? Oh, we get through it. We get through the relationship. How's it going with your life? Oh, man, I guess trying to get through it, None of that. None of that bullshit anymore. That's a J.R. Vince thinking. I want you to get from everything, right? Write that shit down. Get from your whole life, every single day. Anytime some bullshit happens, you're going to get from it. All right. We all understand the homework. Give me a thumbs up if you understand, and you're going to fucking do it. Lit. Okay. Now, here's a logical follow-up question, and then we're going to get into Q&A for about 30 minutes. What if I fuck up, right? What if you mess up? What if you make a mistake, right? I feel like some people might be wondering this. What if I don't nail the MJ morning? What if I, let somebody upset me? You're making a significant change in your life right now. You're dedicating yourself to becoming hyper-productive, something less than 1% of people do. Less than 1%. It isn't going to be perfect, and that's okay. You're not going to be perfect at this shit right away. It's going to take a little while. As long as you don't go the MFG route, right, pity, sympathy, and victimhood, and you go the MBT route, which is growth, purpose, and owner, you are going to be a champion in no time. So I don't care if it's not perfect. Just don't, I'm not going to give you pity, though, and I don't want you to give yourself sympathy, and I don't want yourself to go victim. I want you to go growth, purpose, and owner. What am I going to get from it? Not what I'm going to get through it. Awesome. So real quick, let us go ahead and let us get into some Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and let's go ahead. Let me see what's going on in the chat right now. Shout out to Jeff. Oh, Jeff is getting some credit for pimping out. You want the pipe? MVP Jeff. Awesome. Steven Chandler, audio. Nice. All right, guys. Let's take some questions. What questions y'all got? Let me know. Don't be shy, fellas. We're a small group.
When do you wake up and when do you go to sleep? Sure.
So generally speaking, I'll wake up at 6. I do my MJ morning routine in that, now, to be honest with you, I work out longer and I meditate longer, but I also have a different situation. Like, fortunately, I can work from home and I'm able to do this stuff kind of remote. So I have a more flexible schedule. But when I first started on this, I was waking up at 7. I was going to sleep at 11 or 12. I tried to get 11, so I tried to get those 8 hours. And then the first hour of the day was spent on that MJ morning. And then I would commute to work on the subway. Phone was in airplane mode, off in my bag. And I was just really practicing being present on people on the train, viewing them. And then again, if I got the urge, I would take the phone out and I would listen to David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, or I would listen to Steve Chandler audios. So yeah, that was kind of my morning.
Word.
Anything else?
Yo.
Oh, what's good, Splash?
Yo, so one thing for me is, since I've been traveling a lot, I guess, what I realize is when I go from a place to place, it takes a while for my body to adjust and everything to adjust, to be honest.
Yeah.
So for someone like you who also travels a lot, with events and here and there,
Yeah.
what do you do to like really avoid, jet lag in those like periods of time where you're like, oh, what the fuck? I gotta get back to my shit.
Yeah. That's a good question, man. So obviously you can't control everything when it comes to travel, right? There's going to be plane delays. There's going to be some nonsense with the B&B you're staying at. Like those are stuff you can't control. What you can control is setting yourself up to succeed despite those circumstances, right? So for me, something that I do is when I'm going to London, for example, and I know that it's 6 hours ahead in London. What I'm going to do is I am going to work out the morning of the flight. Like that shit, always work out the morning of your flight. Always work out the morning of your flight, because no matter what happens on the plane, like some BS nonsense, the plane's delayed and whatever, you got your workout in, right? You're not going to work out when you land. Like that shit doesn't work unless you're like a fitness influencer, right? Work out the morning of, do the MJ morning routine the morning of. I don't care if the flight's at 4, wake up at 2 or whatever. The other thing you can do is time your sleep to adjust with the new time zone. And I think that's really a solid game plan, right? So if you're in New York and it's going to be later when you land into London, hold off on falling asleep at the normal time you would on the plane until you land, pass out, and do the new time zone there and do the morning routine there. It's very tempting when you're traveling or on vacation to not do the MJ morning routine and to let yourself kind of BS. Like, doesn't matter if you're somewhere else, the time zone is different, the people are different, your routine stays the same. So whatever you can do. Another thing I like to do is before I go somewhere, I find out where I'm going to work out. I find that shit out in advance. Again, you only need 10 minutes, so that's something you can do outside or in the crib. But if you like to work out longer than 10 minutes, I would find out in advance where you can lift. And then you can meditate in the crib. Yeah. And again, there's a lot of shit outside of your control, but what is in your control is what you put into your body diet-wise and how often you're lifting. That does not change when you go to a different country. You can always find a way to work out. You can always find a way to eat right.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question? Was that helpful? Is that something you're going to do? Nice.
Definitely. Anyway, yo, I'm going to go sleep soon.
Yeah, man. I know it's late over there. I appreciate you making it, homie.
No worries. See you guys later. Peace
Keep it
out.
tight one time.
Keep it tight one time.
All right. Later, Splash.
Or he's out.
Dope. Okay. Anybody else got any questions?
Yes, sir. I got one.
What's up, Ash?
So one thing for me is the 60-minute rule. I really struggle with that a lot in terms of I'll get by. Not get by. I'll be able to not use any type of social media until a certain period of time. But then once I download it, it becomes real hard to kind of hit that uninstall button. And there's days where I successfully avoid that. And there's days where I don't. So I just wanted to know what has any tips on how to better avoid that or create a much more disciplined kind of day.
Yeah. So once you get on it, it's hard to get off it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to do going forward is I want you, before you actually even, did you want to uninstall it the way I just said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I uninstall it every day, but it's just once I install it. Yeah.
Star student over here. Okay. So going forward, when you do install it, what I want you to do is I want you to take out your phone and set an alarm for when you're supposed to get off it.
Okay.
Set 3 alarms, actually.
Okay.
Set 1 an hour later. Set 1 an hour 5 later, 1 an hour 10 later. And that way you literally have a ringing noise going off when it's time to leave. And that should really help. Because it's hard to ignore like a dinging noise. You're like almost training yourself the way you would train a dog. Kind of like with that. Okay, now it's time to get off the shit. Okay. Another thing I found helpful is to have, and I'm going to get more into this next week, but have a replacement for that kind of guilting, binging. So after the hour, like having some sort of book or something by your bed that you find interesting but isn't going to keep you up all night. So for me, those tend to be autobiographies of people I really like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Eminem, just people that you're into. I would have like, or even a fiction novel, like a James Bond novel, someone that you look up to. Have that shit by your bed. So the hour timer goes off, you know it's time to log off, but it's not like there's nothing to do now. Now you gotta have like a fun book to read.
Understood.
You feel that?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Any other questions? Anything else I can help y'all with before we take off? Before we take off and go start dominating the day. You might be Gucci. I'm gonna wait for Jeff to come back before I wrap this in a bow. But while I have y'all here, go ahead, type in the chat for me what you're most excited about that you're gonna do this week. What are you gonna do this week that's actually got you hyped? You're gonna go into Monday and fucking crush your goals. What are you gonna do? Let me know.
Joe, quick question, bro.
Yeah.
So do you like have like YouTube Red? Is that how you download all the good content? Like YouTube Red needed?
What do you mean?
You said like download all the motivation, all the audios that you want, but like isn't kind of like one of the only ways to do that through like having YouTube Red, so you could just save the shit you want from YouTube?
I usually download audiobooks or podcasts. So I don't download like YouTube MP3 files usually, but you can. There's a website called YouTube to MP3 Converter, so you could if you wanted to. But I find most of them aren't super educational, so I prefer audiobooks or podcasts.
Yeah, that's what Sebastian said. Thank
you. Get Audible. Get Audible.
Audible.
It's not Sebastian's day for spelling. Cool. What else, guys? What else? We got Ashraya, we got implementing and sticking with the 60-minute rule. What else is exciting us about this week? What are we going to do? What are we going to use? Let me know in the chat. And then
WhatsApp keeping you updated.
Yes, sir.
The brotherhood. Wait, what do we call it? What's the name of it again?
HPM, hyper productivity method. But we are a brotherhood, man.
Hyper productivity method.
We are. We're going to be hyper productive. What else we going to do this week? HPM hyper productivity brotherhood. You're damn right. Lit.
I think everybody's solid, Trill.
Lit. All right, guys. So the main key, I want you guys to keep, ideally, immediately when you get off this call, go ahead and screenshot your calendar for me at the times that on when you're going to do the to-do list, go to bed and MJ morning. I'd like to see that in the WhatsApp chat. Keep me posted. And if you haven't had an onboarding call with me yet, I'm going to reach out to you today or tomorrow to schedule that so we can go ahead and get you set up in the membership area, as well as set some goals for the next 8 weeks. So next week, guys, here's what we're going to be going over in case you're excited about next week. Next week, we're going to dive deeper on the science and psychology of social media addiction, procrastination, and how to avoid it, as well as replacing your old social media nonsense time with skills that will make you more attractive in the business and sexual marketplace. This is my favorite part because once we get that time back, right, you might not be spending 9 hours on social media like those teenagers in that study, but you are probably spending a good amount of time per week. Now it's time to begin replacing that BS with cool shit, with skills that you want to learn, right? And it can be anything, right? It can be anything. It can be dancing, instruments, learning another language, whatever the case may be. And then I'm going to tell you guys how my number one secret to get each skill faster with your board of directors or Avengers. Some of them are on this call. But thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to get you guys to that MJ level. Keep me posted in WhatsApp. Don't be a stranger. And much love, guys. Have an amazing Saturday. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for this amazing information session. I really appreciate it, man. Thank
God bless.
you.
Much love, y'all. Y'all will be able to watch this replay in the membership area once it's posted. I'll let you know.
For sure. All right, bro. Peace. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Peace out, fellas.